Only the sky is limit how good serve you can get with the right amount of hard work, determination, if you just follow these steps. A common question I get is, which is the best table tennis service in the world? And I have a really strong opinion on this one, and it is that there is no table tennis serve who is better than anyone else. I think that every serve has the potential to be absolutely amazing. What decides which serve you should use is more about which one do you like to play, which one do you have a natural movement for, what suits your game most, what kind of receive do you want for the next ball. And something that makes me very excited with this video is that it absolutely doesn't matter which serve you're using. You can use backhand serve, reverse pendulum serves, the tomahawk. All these tips I'm going to share today works as well and are as important for every single table tennis serve in the world. In my opinion, there are 3 different kind of skills you need in your table tennis serve to get it to the top level. It's 1, the placement. You need to be able to serve everywhere on the table. And it's 2, the spin. You need to be able to make spin, you need to be able to make a lot of spin, you need to be able to make no spin. The 3rd skill you need to fully master a table tennis serve and get it in world class is to make it impossible, or at least as hard as possible, for your opponent to see how much spin you're making, which spin you're making, or if you make any spin at all. So with all this said, let's jump into the first tips. The first thing we're going to talk about is the placement, and we start out with how to get long serves and how to get short serves. When you make long serves, as in every serve, it's very important that you start the movement with your hip, because otherwise you will not get any consistency, you will not get any power. But the second thing, which is special for the long serves, is that you need to get the ball to bounce close to the edge on your side. This is necessary to be able to get a fast serve, dive down on the other side, because if you hit close to the net with high speed, it will either hit the net or get too far. The last thing, which is extremely important when you serve fast long serves, is to hit the ball really low, because otherwise it will fly out. Okay, it's always important to hit the ball low, because if you do a short serve where you hit the ball too high, it will be an easy and higher serve for the opponent. But as I said, for the long serve, it's so important, because otherwise you will not be able to hit the table if you have a lot of speed. When we talk about short serves, we normally learn out to hit close to the net with the first bounce. And the truth is, this is the easiest way to do it. But when you hit your short serve close to the net, you get something we call a slow short service. It has many purposes to do a short, slow serve, because it gets the ball a lot shorter. My favorite way to do it is to make my opponent think that I will serve long to the backhand, but instead I trick them and do it short to their forehand. The second way to make a short serve is a fast short serve. And this works the same as when you do a fast serve. You hit close to the edge on your own side. This needs a lot more training, a lot more skill. It's very difficult. And what will happen is that you get a more aggressive short serve. So it will hopefully bounce close to the net on the first bounce, and the second bounce close to the edge on your opponent's side, which can make it really hard to play short, and many times you get an easy ball to attack on. We move on from how to serve short and long, and instead start to talk about how to get the serve to the backhand, how to get it to forehand. Here I will say that it's one very simple trick who will help you so much. I would say no matter which serve you are doing, learn your normal movements. Always use your body, try to be relaxed in your wrist, accelerate with your underarm. The only thing you want to change now to get a good straight serve is that you already rotated your body, but when you hit the ball, no matter which serve you are doing, make an extra big rotation. I will show you. Here is my scoop serve to the backhand, and here is it to the forehand. It is impossible to see until I just hit the ball that the serve will come straight, so many players will be ready for the backhand. Here I show with my pendulum serve instead, exactly like before. I do my normal serve, long fast to the backhand this time. Then I do the same technique, you cannot see any difference, until I hit the ball and I rotate my body, extra big movement. The last thing I would like to talk about when it comes to placement is something I call secret or forgotten angles. Everybody remembers and think about, oh, should I service to the forehand, should I service to the backhand, long or short? But there is some angles who are forgotten and can be very effective. First one is to try to serve deep to the backhand. So instead of serving as you normally do, you serve so the ball bounces out deep to the side. This is something players very rarely practice and are not ready for, and can be very effective for that reason. And the same works for serves against forehand. You don't need to always do the same short serve to forehand or long serve to forehand. You can also try to serve it deep out the side on the forehand side. And some players who serve backhand, some players who like to do the scoop serve or the tomahawk from the forehand side like to do this, because it's a very effective way to know that the opponent will probably get their attack against the forehand or middle, even if they try to attack it straight. And this gives an amazing opportunity for you to counter-attack. Let's talk about spin instead. We start with how to create the different kind of spins. You will get topspin if you hit behind the ball with an upwards movement. You will get topspin if you hit over the ball. If we move on to backspin, the same way. If you hit behind the ball but goes downwards, you will get backspin. If you go under the ball, you will get backspin. And with side spin, you can also hit behind the ball. You can make every spin behind the ball. If you go behind the ball and hit it from the side to the other side, or at the other way, you can hit from either side to create which side spin you want. The other way to get side spin is to hit at the side of the ball, here or here. There is one way to create a lot more spin than any of these ways. This is how to do normal spin. If you want extra spin, you need to hit on two sides of the ball. So for example, for topspin, I hit behind and then over. If I want backspin, I hit behind and then under, or even for even more spin, you hit under and then on the other side of the ball. This is example the way how to make the ghost serves to make the ball bounce back. Same works for side spin. You can hit on behind and then at the side, or even for even more at the side and around it. This is the ways how to create the different kind of spins. Another thing which is very important to get a lot of spin is your arm and your wrist. The acceleration you make is with your hip and with your arm. This is the same for almost every table tennis shot, I would say, and you will hear it many times if you keep watching my channel. So you move your hip and your underarm, but you're extremely relaxed in your wrist. And then when you come to the ball, you do an extra acceleration, an extra kick to create a lot of spin. This might sound really strange for many people, but something as important as how to make spin and how to make a lot of spin is also how to make no spin. And especially if you're able to make no spin and make it hard for the opponent to see which one you're doing. One way to do this, and my favorite, is when you use the wrist. So for the spin, you do your normal movement, and just before you hit the ball, you use your wrist also. So you do your body, underarm, kick it with your wrist when you hit the ball. But to make no spin instead, you do the exactly same. You use your body, you use your arm, you hit the ball, and you use your wrist after the ball. Of course, using the wrist here makes no difference for the spin. It's all about the stiff wrist who make the no spin. But using the wrist afterwards makes it really difficult for your opponent to see if you're making spin or not, since you use the same movement. We move on to what's in my mind the most important thing when it comes to the spin, and it has nothing to do with getting more spin or how much spin you can make or which spin you make. It is to make it difficult for your opponent to see which spin it is. And it is different ways to do this. My favorite one, which I for example use in my pendulum serve, is that I learn my movement. I always come downwards, and sometimes I hit the ball with my wrist on the way down and then drag my arm up. And sometimes I do the exactly same movement. I go down, but I change and kick my wrist just when I'm on the way up instead. So my goal is to make the exactly same movement, but just change a little bit on when I hit the ball. It works the same for any serve. For example, the scoop serve, I have my movement where I rotate my body, where I kick my wrist down and then I kick it up, and sometimes I hit it on the way down and then fastly kick it up, or sometimes I kick it down just before I hit the ball and kick it up. Another way to confuse your opponents with the spin is to have a racket angle who is against the spin you're making. For example, if I do backspin, I try to have a closed racket angle like this, but I hit it a bit downwards, but the racket angle make it look like it's not possible to do backspin. And the same works with topspin. I can use a flat angle, but then hit the ball a little bit under and go backwards or sidewards to create side spin or top spin instead, even if you have an angle where it looks like backspin. I really hope that this video will help you to take the next step with your serve, and please let us know what you want to learn in the future. Until next time, cheers!